Well, it's time now for today's press review, and I'm joined in the studio by Deeptika Laurent. Deepti, you're staying with this story, telling us how the UK papers have been reacting to this attack.
Yeah, that's right, Alison. As you mentioned, British police have called the stabbings a terrorist attack, of course, taking place as people gathered at an Orthodox synagogue for Yom Kippur, one of the holiest days on the Jewish calendar. This is the front page from the Daily Express. Terror on holiest day. It says, noting that the suspected terrorist was shut down by police, and noting that protection has also been stepped up around synagogues in the country in the aftermath of those stabbings. This is from the Daily Mirror, another British daily. Act of evil on holy day, terror at the synagogue. You see a lot of very bold headlines and really underlying just the shock that a lot of the papers are feeling today. The Daily Mirror does pay tribute to this man here, a hero rabbi. It says his name is Daniel Walker, who saved countless lives by physically blocking the doorway to the synagogue to prevent the attacker from entering. You have this from the Daily Star as well, synagogue knife killer. Also, that image you see here is something that some of the press did pick up on, that it took police a little bit of time to confirm the assailant's death because of a vest he was wearing that made them think he might have had explosives. And this is from The Guardian front page, pretty factual, straightforward front page there. The Guardian noting that the police, as you mentioned there, have identified the assailant as a 35-year-old British man of Syrian descent. There is a little bit of analysis and at least opinion in the press today as well. This is from the Daily Telegraph's columnist Danny Cohen, who says, really deplores what he calls the steady, ever louder drumbeat of Jew hate since October 7th, 2023. Anti-Semitism, he says, has been normalized, creating what he calls a toxic social petri dish in which those with violent intents gain confidence to act out their racist fantasies. And he also notably slams the failure of those in power who've not done enough to prevent such attacks from happening. Alison.
I know security has been raised in the UK and in France and other countries after that attack. Moving on, Deepti, this Friday, October 3rd, marks 35 years since the reunification of East and West Germany. Yeah,
that's right. Unity Day, as it's known in Germany, is the day that West and East Germany were reunited. It's got a little bit of coverage in the German papers, notably in Der Tagesspiegel here, which notes that this anniversary also falls at a difficult time for Germany. And you see it here with this image of Germany really being held up by Band-Aids in a way, well, at least East and West Germany being held up by Band-Aids. The paper says that Germany may still be united, but its two hearts are not. Noting that there are gaping differences between the two Germanys today, as well as political and social divides. And in fact, that's the cartoon from the same paper you see here. The German symbol, the eagle that's split in two. The head here says, saying, let's celebrate German unity, while this bottom part rather sarcastically saying, sure, let's do that.
All right, Deepti, we're going to move on now to a comedy festival being held in Saudi Arabia that's drawn a lot of top-level American comedians, and it's also pretty controversial.
Yeah, controversial. As you can imagine, it's the kingdom's first ever global comedy festival. It's drawn huge names in comedy like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Jimmy Carr. It's also been slammed by human rights groups who say that the comedians are simply lending legitimacy to a country which doesn't respect human rights. Now, the Riyadh Comedy Festival kicked off on September 26th, and it'll run until October 9th. The timing is bittersweet. Alison, yesterday marked the 7th anniversary since the assassination of Saudi dissident Jamal Khashoggi, which has been blamed on the Saudi prince. It also comes, of course, after U.S. talk show host Jimmy Kimmel's suspension sparked a widespread debate about freedom of press and freedom of speech in the U.S. As the Times notes in this article, the Saudi festival was ironically an occasion for comedians like Dave Chappelle, who feel muzzled now by American political correctness to say what they really thought about America. But not about Saudi Arabia and its oppressive governance.
We might need a new term for this: laughter washing, comedy
laughter washing. I like it.
Yeah, for sports washing and green washing.
Very nice.
All right, Deepti, finally from you, the Washington Post today has profiled a woman who became the first ever American to win the Cheesemonger World Cup.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure if you knew that there was a Cheesemonger World Cup, or Mondial du Fromage. It takes place every 2 years. It wrapped up in the French city of Tours last month. And the woman who won it, Emilia Dalbero, is American. She beat out some very strong competitors in a competition that lasted 8 hours and required competitors to do, among other things, a written exam that could, quote, humble a doctoral student, do a blind test, cut cheese, do cheese pairings, and create a cheese platter based on a theme that was given to them at that time. Her cheese of predilection is Italian Parmigiano, so she didn't even win with a French cheese. And to win, the Washington Post says she trained like an athlete, long hours, exacting drills, heavy lifting, sculpting, and slicing until her hands ached. Apparently it was all worth it. She's now the first American to win, to be crowned World Cheesemonger, Alison.
All right, congratulations to her. And I have to say, I'm happy to have a source of pride this morning. Thank you very much, Deepti, for that look through today's papers.